All right, I'm Jason. We are back at it again today. Today we're doing a little bit, not really a troubleshooting project. I've set up a network topology here. Let's just pretend this is a small office building. We've got several different departments. So what we've done is we've got multiple different VLANs separating the departments, and we've got them all connected with 3 switches. We're gonna finish setting these up. We're gonna make sure that each VLAN can communicate with another. So we're gonna do some inter-VLAN routing. But then we are going to set up OSPF between the 3 switches to make the routing table easier that way. So I went ahead and set up this one over here entirely. Every interface, all that is done. And I've given all the end devices IPs, subnet masks, and also default gateways. But so we're going to get into this. We're just going to move over here to switch 1 here and set up this. It's just got its own VLAN. So go on to switch 1. All right, enable config terminal. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and name the VLAN to start and set it up. So VLAN 60. There we go. We're going to name it IT. So name IT. Let's get that done. We're going to exit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up the interfaces. So let's go into interface. And we're going to go ahead and do what's an interface range. So we're going to go ahead and set up interface fast Ethernet 01. Oh, let's do interface range fast internet or fast Ethernet 01 through 2. That's got both of those interfaces together, since these are going to be set up exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to do switch port mode access to make them access ports, and switch port access and put them both on VLAN 60. Okay. There we go. It's got both of those together over on VLAN 60. So now we're just going to exit out of there. Oh, go back into configure terminal and set up VLAN's interface VLAN 60. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and give VLAN 60 its IP address in order to enable routing. Alright, so IP address for VLAN 60 is going to be, let's see, that's your default gateway on this one. So I've made all the default gateways 192.168.xx.1. So 192.168.60, because that is VLAN 60. .1. That is 255.255.255.0. Those are all /24s. There we go. Then we're going to just do a node shutdown on that. And end. That should have that one done. We're going to go ahead and move into this, set up our VLANs, and come back for the interfaces that connect the switches together. So get out of there. Go up to switch 0 here. Back enable. Big terminal. Go ahead and start by naming our VLAN. So we have VLAN 20. Name. Marketing. Exit out of that. And we'll do VLAN 10. Name 6. Alright. Now we're going to go into our interfaces and connect them and make them access ports. Let's do interface range again. And we're just going to go with these over here. So that's Path Ethernet 1 and 2. It's Fast Ethernet 0/1 through 2. What we're going to do with those? Switch port mode access. All right. Switch port access VLAN 10. We're going to exit out of that one, and then we're just going to go on over to the other two, Fast Ethernet 3 and 4. Just going to do 3 through 4. And once again, do switch port mode access, and then switch port mode VLAN 20. Okay, gonna exit out of that. Now we're gonna go into our VLANs and assign them IP addresses. Okay, so to interface VLAN 10. And that's brought that up. We're gonna go ahead and give that IP address at 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0, and do a no shutdown on that as well. There we go. Exit out of that. And we're going to go right back into VLAN. We're going to go right into VLAN 20 and also give it an IP address as well as do a no shutdown. So 192.168.20.1 for VLAN 20 and no shutdown. We're going to exit and exit. We're going to go right back in the configure terminal though. I did forget we're going to do IP routing. That command is necessary to tell a layer 3 switch that it's going to be routing. By default, routing is turned off until this command. Now it knows that it can route. We're going to exit out of that and go back into the other router. I believe I need to set up IP routing on this one. Yes, I didn't do that command. So let's do IP, or let's config. There we go. And then we're going to do IP routing on that one as well. Exit out of that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up these IP addresses between these 3 switches. So on this one it's gig 01, gig 02, same up here. So let's go big turn. All right. Do interface G 0/ let's just do /1 first. Enter into there. Now what we have to do on these kind of switches is everything by default has a switch port. You can assign an IP address to a switch port. So you have to tell it it's not going to be a switch port. So let's do no switch port. Enter. That will allow me to do an IP address for this particular port, which I have it already labeled out right here. We're going to do a /30 network on all these connections. So do 10.10.30.2. That's 255.255.255.252. And we're going to go ahead and do a no shutdown of that. Yep. Exit out, and then we're going to go just press my up arrow to go back into the other interface and also tell it that it's not a switch port and give it an IP address as well. There we go. This one right here I have set on a 20.2. Still a /30, and then we're going to go ahead and do a no shutdown. Okay. It's got both of those done, so I'm going to exit out and go ahead and jump up to the top one up here and get it set up as well before starting OSPF. Alright. So, big term, and let's do interface G 0/1 here, which we've got right here, so it's the 10.2. And we're going to do a no switch port. We're going to give it IP address 10.10.10.2, 255.255.255.252, sorry. And we're going to also do no shutdown. Alright, use our up arrow to go into the other interface and also do a no switch port. And we're going to give it its IP address, which I have it on 30.1. So 30.1, the same subnet mask of /30. Let's go. And just like all the others, no shutdown. Make sure we're all good. Now, what have we done at this point? If I exit out, we can do a show VLAN command, for instance, on this router. That's going to bring up our default VLAN, but it's going to let us know that VLAN 10 is sales, VLAN 20 is marketing, and it's going to give us our interfaces, our ports that are set up on that VLAN. What we can also do at this point, we can go into, we can just ping. We can see if I can make VLAN 10 ping VLAN 20 over here. Remember, at this point, I really haven't set up anything communicating between these three. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take this PC6 and see if I can ping laptop 4 over here and see what happens. Oh, let's go back out of there. Let's go into the command prompt. Let's ping 192.168. And I believe that was, 20.20. Hit enter. Now what's going to happen is ARP, so the first request should time out, but after that everything should work fine. Let's ping it again to make sure we're all good. Yep, 4 sent, 4 received. Everything is great there. Everything is good over here, and everything is good over here already. I did that before. So what we're going to do is set up OSPF between these 3 switches. So go into switch 0 here. Okay. Then we're going to go config term. Go OSPF router 1. Sorry, got that backwards. Router OSPF 1. There we go. Now we're in the OSPF command. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give this a router ID to start. So router ID, I'm going to call this one being switch 0, 1.1.1.1. Okay. Now we're going to set up all the networks so that it can communicate here so that it knows what we're looking at. So we're going to do our first network. We are going to go with 192.168.20.0. We're going to then do its wildcard mask, which will be 0 or 0.0 .0.255. So that's just complete opposite of /24, 255.255.255.0. So the wildcard mask is the opposite. So the zeros become, or the 255s become zeros, the 0 becomes a 255. And we're just going to go ahead and make this a single area. So we're going to call that area 0. There we go. Then we're just going to give it the other networks as well so that it knows everything it's connected to. That means making go into the 10 network, do the same, and also make sure that it sends out through these networks as well. So that's going to be a little bit different. We're going to go in, back out of there. That's going to be a 10.10.10.0. And as I say, this is a /30. So the wildcard mask is 252. What you do is you take the 252, figure out what it takes you to get the 255, and that is just 3. So 0.0.0.3 is your wildcard mask for a /30. And hit enter. Then we go in and do the last network here. Hit enter. And then we're going to exit out of that. Now what we can do from here is we can do a show run. And we can just kind of look into everything and make sure there's our VLAN set up on those fast Ethernet ports. There's our gigabit Ethernet ports with our IP addresses and everything. There's our VLANs set up with our subnet, with our default gateway. And you can see right here, router OSPF1. There is OSPF set up and it knows these networks and it's connected to. So that's it for this switch. Let's go into switch 1 here. Big term. Router. ROUTER. OSPF1. We're going to go ahead and give it the router ID. Call this one 2.2.2.2. Okay. Now we're going to set up the networks. Now this one's only got 2, well 3, because it doesn't have the extra VLAN. But network, and that's going to be we're just going to do this one 10.10.20.0, and then the wildcard mask on a /30 0.0.0.3. And again, we're just going to call it area 0. And we're going to do the top 30 network right next to it. There we go. And then we're going to do the network for the VLAN for the end devices. 192.168.60.0. Okay, well, there was OSPF communicating. It's already starting to talk to this switch up here. Kind of messed it up a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go back into there, do 192.168.60.0. That is 0.0.0.255 for the wildcard mask. And that would be area 0. Hit enter. Exit and exit. And we can just do a show run. Make sure everything is set up. There's our VLAN 60, its port. There's our gigabit Ethernet. No switch port, IP addresses. And there it goes into OSPF with its networks. Everything seems good. So we can also do this. Let's do show IP route. And you can see right here, here's your routing table. The zeros are the OSPF, so it knows how to get to the 10.10, and it gets there via 30.1. It makes so that network is over here. And what it's saying is switch 1 can get to that network via its first hop, 10.10.30.1. Okay? It also shows how to get up to here, as well as here, 192.168.10 over here. And it gets there once again by going through this gateway, its first hop of 10.10.30.1. So everything's looking good. Let's go back over to our last switch. Pull that out a little bit just to see everything. Alright. So config term router OSPF 1 router ID. I'm going to go ahead and call this one. We did 1.1.1.1.2.2. So we're going to name this one 3.3.30.3. Hit enter there. That's good. So now we're just going to set up our different networks. We have network 10.10.10.0.0. That's our /30, so that'll be a .3. That'll be an area 0. And we're going to go into the other network, the 10.10.20, set that one up. Now on this one we have several other in-device networks. So we have 192.168.30. Oh, there we go, they're already started. Let's just kind of get right back to where we were there. Okay, no problem. So network 192.168.30.0.0.0.255. That's area 0. Next, we're going to do a .40 network, so VLAN 40. And then one final one down here is VLAN 50. Set that up. We're going to exit out of all those, and then we're going to look at the IP routes. So, and there's our routing table where it has all our networks it's got set up. So you can see that one has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It has all the different VLANs, and it has all the interconnected networks as well. So let's go back to our end devices and see if we're able to ping over here to over here. Laptop 0. Alright, ping 192.168.60.20. And now it's sending us request timeout, but then the rest are successful. There we go. Always like to let's go on into simulation mode and do a couple of pings and just kind of watch OSPF work. So I'm going to go over to this right here. We're going to send a ping to the 20 network right over here. But then we're going to go over here to VLAN 40. Oh, I accidentally pushed the web browser. Let's close that out. Go back in there. And let's send a ping to VLAN 60. 192.168.60.20. There we go. And from VLAN 50, we're going to ping, and let's just ping the 20 network over here. That will be ping 192.168.20.20. Let's just send it there. And that gives us a couple. Then we can kind of exit that out and we can watch the packets, how they transfer across this network. There they go. we go. So we've set up a nice little network topology here. 6 different VLANs, 3 separate switches. All switches communicate through OSPF. InterVLAN routing is done as well, so each and every separate VLAN can talk while being logically separated. And this was a fun little project, just kind of a real world scenario of what it would be like setting up a new office or reconfiguring an old one. Thank you for your time. Once again, I'm Jason. Have fun with this. We'll see you in the next video.